Hi everyone, it's Justine and welcome back to the 12 Days of Christmas series. Today we're going to be working with a company called Pink & Main, which is new to me. And I was really excited to try out their stamps this holiday season, and I thought, why not give a shout out to them. Don't forget there's a giveaway at the end of the video so you can try out Pink & Main as well, so be sure to stick around to the very end. I'm going to be using this stamp here. It's called Oh Dear. It's got some really adorable sentiments and also some really great images. I'm going to be using the deer stamp. However, there is a flamingo, a Christmas flamingo that is really cute that would be really great for those people who live in sort of tropical climates for Christmas, or snowbirds or anything like that that go down to, Florida area for the holidays. And I think that would be a really cool way to make cards for them that are seasonally appropriate. Let's put it that way. All right, so I'm going to get started stamping, and I'm going to stamp these 3 times. I'm going to try my best not to overlap them in any way because I really don't feel like cutting out a mask. It would be kind of an intricate cut. So I'm going to avoid that and the fussy cutting today and just stamp 3 on the bottom, kind of these little moose hanging out and having a little dance party. And I'm stamping them in Memento black ink because I'm going to be Copic coloring them, and Copic friendly ink requires either Memento or MFT hybrid ink. Anyway, the Memento is the one I own, so that's the one I'm going to be using. So I'm going to get all my stamping out of the way first, which means I stamped all 3 of the deer and then the sentiment, and I'm going to ink up the sentiment as well at the same time. What's really good about this video as well is I'm going to show you how you can potentially cover up some of your mistakes. I ended up getting ink on my hand at some point during this process and got it all over my card while I was coloring. And I was already quite a ways into the Copic coloring, and there's nothing more frustrating. So I'll show you how my little trick to covering things up. So I'm by no means a Copic expert, but I had practiced the moose several times before I got started. And I decided the lighter color of the moose was better because you can see the details of the moose or the deer better than the darker one. So I'll show you the one I made here, and I covered them in 3 different ways, and you can see that the lighter one you just get a little bit more of the detail of the moose in, but I think the other one looks really great as well. And I'll have an image up on my blog if you wanted to take a look at the other ones and the different ways that I colored them, as well as their Copic colors that I used. So I went in with E11 as the lightest color, put a whole layer of that down. Then I went in with E13 and E15 to darken the areas up. And then I just needed to go back through and blend them out. My Copic coloring trick, and I'm definitely no Copic expert here, I'm not a Sandy Alnock or anything like that, but I think the images turn out just fine, and I'm quite satisfied with my abilities. I just go from light, medium, dark, back to medium, and back to light. So it just kind of is a blending process to make sure all those colors look really good together and that they're getting some depth. I colored all their rosy cheeks with R11 and their noses with R29. And then I added some details on the gray, on the white in C1, because white is never just pure white, it also has shadows. I used, I believe, G05, G07, and G09 for the green colors on their sweaters. So again, I went with my lightest color and threw some layers down, and then I darkened up certain areas. I didn't want to spend hours and hours coloring this because I was going to make a few of them to add to my Christmas collection since they're just so cute. So I'm not bothering doing a really intense Copic job on this, but I think again it looks quite good the way it is. All the reds I'm using R29, and since the details are so small on this one, I didn't bother really blending them. And I'm going back into blending the ink sweaters again, or the green sweaters again. I colored their antlers in E55, and I just went through and colored all the antlers, and I didn't do any sort of shading on them. I thought they were fine the way they were. And for the bottoms of their ears, I went back in with R20, I believe, and just colored them pink. Now for the moose in the center, I decided to do the opposite colors, so I'm going to do the red and green. So I'm going to do the red in R29 and R37, and I'm just going through here and just darkening things up. If you'd like to have a list of the colors that I used instead of just... Now is when I took my hand away and I noticed that I had a problem and that I had a big black splotch right where I'm stamping right now. So I stamped over it with some snowflakes, and I think it looks just fine to cover up the mistakes that I made. And I just went in and added a couple little more snowflakes for detail. I ended up having ink all over my hands, and so I had to go back and really do another couple of those embellishments, unfortunately. That does happen. Now you're able to see that the mistake is generally covered up. Nobody's going to really notice that but me, and I think it added some really cool touches. So I'm just going to go in with some Nuvo liquid drops. I'm just going to drop some here onto my card and add a little bit more color and vibrancy to the front of the card. I think they look really great against the white background. This is a very clean and simple one-layer card. So I hope you enjoyed today's card tutorial. As I mentioned, there is a giveaway today, and it is going to be for a $20 Pink and Main gift certificate. So if you're interested in winning the Pink and Main gift certificate, all you need to do is comment below and let me know what your favorite crafty item this year was, so I can maybe check it out and get myself a few Christmas goodies. All right, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow for another video.